Our first speaker is Rhoda, and it's actually her icebreaker. So the title of her speech is Courage, and which is Dynamic Leadership 1-1. So okay. So she initially answered my question with a very detailed response about her snowboarding trip, and since it's so detailed, it's probably like 300 to 500 words, and then she somehow told me that she hasn't think about what she is going to talk in her speech. So I was like, so why don't you share this in your speech? And she think it's a good idea. So let's welcome Rhoda.
Hi, I'm Rhoda, and today is my icebreaker speech. So, as PME said, I'm going to share with you my snowboard experience. Last year, I learned that my uncle is organizing a trip to Korea during this Chinese New Year. At first time, I wasn't that interested, but when he mentioned there was a ski tour, the schedule includes ski. So, okay, just catch my eye. So, without hesitation, I signed up for this tour. So, but because there are still 2 to 3 months left before the trip. So, but I never snowboard before. So I took a experience class, 15 minutes class. It's just in NA1-1, by the way. There was a new store opened during that year. So I learned the basic steps for snowboard. That's what here is what the coach told me. Number one, the first point is to find out your dominant leg. Like for me, my dominant leg is my right leg, so I need to put it forward. And point number 2 is to using my core muscle and do a position like squat, simply, and to find your balance. And the third one is to learn how to brake. There are 2 types of brake. The first one is the front brake, and the other one is to use the rear bottom of the snowboard to brake. So I learned the rear brake. So during this trip, I was so excited that I can have the chance to snowboard. So I was excited at the first time, and I think, oh, it's my show time. But it wasn't very smooth at the beginning. I fall a lot. I fall again and again. I couldn't find my balance, and what's even worse, I couldn't stand up on the slope because it would use a lot of core muscle to find the feeling to stand up. Some people passed by was trying to help me, to give me a hand, but I said no thanks, because I thought if I receive others' help, I would never really learn how to do that. But I was really frustrated, and what's even worse, I was out of strength because I didn't learn how to use a snowboard on the ground. So I need to take off the shoes and then put it on again and again. And it was very exhausted and used a lot of energy. So I used a lot of energy very quickly. And when I was about to give up, I thought maybe you just take it a break. And so I decided to take a break. And during this break, there is one thing I found out is that I saw a lot of Korean family. They were teaching their children, maybe just even 3 or 4 years old. They were very little, but they can ski very smoothly. But on the other hand, there are some Taiwanese families, and they just told their kids, don't go, don't try ski, it's too dangerous. And that's one thing I found out during this break. And then, okay, I think finally, I still need to try, I cannot give up. So, back to the ski road. So, I tried it again, and magical thing happened. Maybe it's because my energy is back, so I got the feeling back. I suddenly know how to keep my balance, and then I can turn left, turn right very smoothly to the ground. So the feeling was very, very great. It was very wonderful. So my point is that from this experience, I learned that maybe sometimes we offer a lot, maybe in our lives, but just don't give up. And sometimes magical thing can happen. Thank you very much.